Just want to bring us together to discuss something that doesn't fit inside the normal show. Are you game?
Yep.
Okay, here we go. So a thing happened this week that I want to kind of poke you about because I think it'd be funny. It's not deep. It's not really super topical either. It's something that happens to a lot of people in the world. And you have, as long as I've known you, reacted very poorly to the idea or implication of any kind of not rule following.
Okay.
This week, I got a grade back on an essay on a paper I had to write. The problem with this paper is I got super excited about the topic, which we won't talk about.
Okay.
I had an insight, and so I wrote about my insight on this topic. And then I went to log in and realized there was a prompt completely separate that included the topic. What I had written was useless.
Should not have counted.
Right. Hold on. I'm getting there. I went ahead and I changed it a little bit to try to answer the question. I wasn't very good, but I was really excited about this paper and this insight that I had. So I submitted it and I kind of waited on pins and needles for a week to get it back. And I got it back. I got extra credit. And he's going to use it as a sample for the class and his classes going forward because I had this insight on a topic that we were talking about. In his grading, he said outright, he's like, you didn't answer the prompt like at all, but I'm willing to overlook it because of your argument and what you put forward. So I told you this and you got upset. Tell me why.
Well, it wasn't necessarily that I got upset.
You weren't like mad.
Yeah. I was happy that you got the grade that you got. Kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know of too many things in the world where you're asked to do a specific thing and you decide to do your own thing and you get bonus points for it.
Not only did I get a 100 on the assignment, I got bonus points.
Yeah, you got 100 points for doing the wrong thing.
Really well.
You got... That doesn't matter. Then you got 5 bonus points, and then we're told this will be used going forward as an example. That part is cool.
Right. As long as I've known you, any implication of cheating, underhanded, not exactly rule following, like we're watching Chopped, right?
Yeah.
And you get mad at Chopped if they leave off an ingredient.
If they
want to like flip the table.
If they leave off an ingredient, they should fail.
They should get chopped. Yeah. Right.
Kids, I'm even more ruthless with. The kids chopped.
We were on our honeymoon and that happened to be on in the room. We ended up watching it and then we had to turn it to like a baseball game because
I was visibly mad.
You were very mad. And I was like, oh, yay, married.
Yeah. Kid undercooked chicken.
Oh yeah,
gave it to the judges, and they were like, "We can't eat this because."
Didn't he end up winning?
We will get sick, and oh, by the way, you win.
What is it in you that just gets you so about it?
In general, the whole rule following thing, I feel as though I was always that way.
Yeah.
I grew up playing sports.
Right.
And there were a lot of rules and written and unwritten rules about sports in general. And then the military kind of hammered in everything else.
Right.
So,
did you feel comforted by that? Like when you got to the military, like, yes, they agree with me.
They didn't agree with a lot of what I had going on.
I will say it has driven me nuts. But it's also the very specific reason I fell in love with you. Shall I tell the coffee creamer story?
If you would like.
I would like. We had been dating not super long.
Yeah, not too terribly.
Maybe 5 months, let's say. Dating was a generous term.
Yeah,
I guess.
We chit-chatted for a bit.
We were hanging out. Yeah. Like we had a good time, but we weren't like exclusive or official or I don't know, whatever word you want to call it. And one morning you had, I guess, beaten me to the kitchen or whatever, and you had made the pot of coffee. You were getting both cups ready, you get the creamer out of the refrigerator and it's a new one. You notice it's a new one when you flip the cap up and it's still got the little seal on it. So you turn the bottle around and you read the damn thing and you read it and then you shake it. Then you take the thing off, put the cap back on, you shake it again, and then you triple check the rules on it, right? And I'm watching this unfold in the living room. I'm just sitting on the couch, like waiting for my coffee, and you start pouring it in, and then you stir it, and you start walking toward me. And I was like, "You are a dork!" Like like endearingly, like that was the dorkiest thing I've ever seen in my whole life. And you looked at me like with the most serious face I'd ever seen. You're like, "Those are the rules." I'm like, "Oh." Okay. So like all in an instant, like the little fit I was having in my life because things didn't go the way that I wanted them to or thought they would. And, just throwing all the rules out the window. I saw everything that you had been through, which is like real shit. You've experienced death. You've been to war. Like there's things in that brain that have caused you pain, but you never lost sight of the rules. And I talked about it in our vows, like you are a compass and you point toward true north without fail. And I felt just like really inspired, but also terrified of like, oh, wait, what? There are people in the world that experience stuff and don't throw out their rule book. Like, it made a lot of things in my mind and in my heart come into focus. And then I dumped you because I wasn't ready to see it yet. Once I got there, kind of looking back on that moment, like I will never have to worry about you breaking my heart like it had been broken before. I didn't, because you follow the rules, implicit or explicit. You shake the coffee creamer when you don't know someone's watching you. Like, I don't have to worry about it, and it was the moment I fell in love. But sometimes it drives me nuts. When we drove down to Fayetteville to get your car title something, and it was it had your dad's initial, and you were like, we're going to have to drive back to get him. And I'm like, what?
And you were like, you could just sign for it. And I was like, no, I can't.
Yeah. I was just like, just don't say anything. And you're like, I can't do that. If they get confused, I'm going to have to tell them. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was something along the lines of, if they ask me a direct question, I will answer it.
Right.
Honestly.
Right.
If they don't ask, then fine. And
they didn't ask that question directly. For the most part, it's been a net positive. I'm glad I got 105 on it.
Well, sure, I am too.
Yeah.
It just baffled me.
Yeah. Has anybody ever like said that to you? Like it's both endearing and super frustrating? Like have you encountered people that it frustrates?
No. I mean, you know me about as well as anyone can.
Sure.
My previous relationships, it didn't really get that deep into things. There were a couple that did get, deeper. One of them I had just gotten out of the military, so I was a Looney Tune. And then there was another one where we were getting close to some deep stuff. And then it stopped. So
sure. Well, you follow the rules.
I do my very best.
You get annoyed when little kids undercook chicken.
Or leave out an entire ingredient.
Yes. Well,
I made cherry ice cream and oops, I forgot the cherries.
A lot of times they end up winning.
Usually.
Anyway, follow the rules in life. You never know who's watching and falling in love with you. Is that the lesson of this one? All right. Well, thank you for joining us today for this fun little useless in-betweeny. And I did find we did say it in an aired and a published video.
Nice.
So
do we say both? It could be a this or it could be a that.
It's in one of the promos.
Yeah.
Where it's like an in-betweeny. So if you've seen it, drop it in the comments. I'll send you bonus points, which look like this. 5 bonus points. 5 extra credit bonus points for finding where it is in one of the episodes, I think, of Supplemental Uselessness. All right. Well, we will see you next time.
Have a
wonderful night.
Enjoy.
Yay.